President Muhammadu Buhari to intervene in ASU's half-salary complaint. Chief Justice of Nigeria swears in Election Petition Tribunal members. Federal government to resume Abuja-Kaduna train operations. Another foreign-scene discussions begin as Ethiopian Army Chief and the commander of the rebel Tigray's People Liberation Front meet in Kenya.
This is Freedom Global News.
Good evening, you listen to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. I am Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. Today is the 7th of November 2022, which is equivalent to the 12th of February 1444 after Hijri. And now the news in full. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has urged members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, to remain calm over their claim of half-salary payment by the federal government. In a statement he personally signed in Abuja today, the Speaker noted that efforts to find lasting solutions to the concerns frequently raised by ASU are ongoing. He said President Muhammadu Buhari had indicated interest to wade into the latest concerns raised by the union. He said the executive and the House of Representatives had worked to address the issues that led to the strike, adding that the House is currently working on the 2023 appropriations bill. This, according to him, includes 170 billion naira to provide a level of increment in the welfare package of university lecture naira vitalization fund to improve the infrastructure and operation of the federal universities. Gbajabiamila, however, noted that the position taken by the executive that it is not obligated to pay salaries to lecturers for the time spent on strike is premised on the law. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, said that the court processes by political parties are affecting its preparation for the 2023 general elections. The chairman stated this at the inauguration of the Electoral Logistics Committee, ELOC, held at INEC headquarters in Abuja. The INEC chairman said cases arising from the conduct of primaries for the nomination of candidates by political parties had increased, saying that INEC was joined in about 600 cases relating to the conduct of recent primaries and nomination of candidates by political parties for the next year's general elections. He said the judgments were studied of the tribunals arising from both the 2019 general elections, the off-cycle governorship elections, and the by-elections conducted so far, and it identified areas where it needed to do more to reduce litigations. As a result, INEC is witnessing increasingly less court cases challenging the conduct of elections by the Commission. Meanwhile, the Chief Justice of the Federation, Justice Olukayode Aiwola, has sworn in members of the Election Petition Tribunal for the 2023 general elections. The event took place today at the National Judicial Institution in Abuja. Having administered the oath of office on the members of the tribunal, the Chief Justice of Nigeria urged the judicial officers not to treat their assignments with levity, warning that he will not tolerate any form of judicial recklessness. The exercise kicked off a 4-day capacity workshop for the justices and members of the tribunal to end on Thursday. In order to forestall conflicting rulings by the tribunals, the Appeal Court compiled a case management system, which is a document that will serve as an additional guide. Also in attendance at the event includes the President of the Appeal Court, Justice Monica Dongban-Mensem, Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mahmoud Yakubu, as well as justices of the Court of Appeal. Justice Dongban-Mensem admonished members of the tribunal to be firm and law-abiding in the discharge of their duties, noting that by the nature of the assignments, they will be exposed to temptations, but they must be in total control of their thoughts. Another sporting arena, Kano State Governor Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduji has donated 5 million naira to Kano Pillars handball team for winning the 2022 Prudent Energy Handball Premier League. Momtan Uba has details of this and other sports updates.
State Governor Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje presented the gift shortly after receiving the trophy at the government house yesterday. Governor Ganduje also praised the team for winning the cup back-to-back, an effort according to him that signified a symbol of commitment and dedication of the club. Speaking, the chairman Kano State Sport Commission Alhaji Ibrahim Galadima applauded Ganduje for the tremendous effort made in protecting the image of the state, both in the country and beyond. While responding on behalf of the team, the chief coach of Kano Pillars handball team, Solomon Yola, expressed gratitude to the state chief executive and the chairman Kano State Sport Commission for their support and cooperation, vowing not to disappoint them. Meanwhile, the Super Falcons of Nigeria have arrived in San Jose for international friendly against Costa Rica. 18 players and their officials arrived in San Jose today for the game. Assistant coach Salisu Yusuf will take charge of the game, which will be prosecuted by local players and a few professional stars. In another update, Liverpool have drawn holders Real Madrid in the last season of Champions League in a repeat of last season final. Premier League champions Manchester City first German side RB Leipzig, while Tottenham play Italian giant AC Milan. Chelsea also has a German opposition in Borussia Dortmund. Elsewhere, French champions Paris Saint-Germain have drawn Bayern Munich. Club Brugge will go against Benfica. Eintracht Frankfurt will tackle Napoli, while Inter Milan face FC Porto. The last 16 first legs will take place on 14 to 15 in 2022 February, with the second leg on 7 to 8 and 14 to 15 March. Similarly, Manchester United have drawn against Barcelona in the Europa League knockout round playoffs. Jose Mourinho's Roma side will play FC Salzburg, while Juventus face Nantes. And on tennis, Denmark teenager Holger Rune, 10 defending champion Novak Djokovic 3-6, 6-3, 7-5 in the Paris Masters final to claim his first ATP Masters title. Muhammad Sani Uba, Freedom Radio.
Global News is coming to you on Freedom Radio 99.5 FM. You can send your comments, opinions, and watch us live on Freedom Radio Nigeria. Or call us through the 4163. Welcome back. You still listen to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. The federal government says train services on the Abuja-Kaduna Rail Line will resume this November. The Minister of Transportation, Ma'az Sambo, made this known today while giving the scorecard of his ministry in Abuja. He said adequate security has been put in place to ensure the safety of passengers, but did not give any specific date for the resumption. Sambo said that the ministry has learned enough lessons from the attack in March that led to the suspension of train service on the Abuja-Kaduna route. The minister also noted that a system has been put in place that will ensure prompt monitoring of movements on the rail tracks. The Nigerian Railway Corporation suspended train services along the route after Boko Haram terrorists attacked a moving passenger train in Kaduna on March 28, 2022. On business, we have Muhammad Abba Abdullahi with updates.
The managing director of IML, Ms. Kristalina Georgieva, in her statement to the China International Import Expo during the weekend, lamented that for almost 3 years, the world has faced challenges in the global supply chain during the COVID-19 and the Ukraine crisis, insisting that the world has witnessed economic downturn. According to the Director General of the World Trade Organization, WTO, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, noted that China contributes 15% of the world's total exports, and she is the second largest importer of goods and services, while the third largest service exporter. Okonjo-Iweala, in her goodwill message to the Expo, says that trade must be part of the solution to solve inflation, climate change, global economic slow, among others. Meanwhile, the federal government stated that Nigeria will require $1.9 trillion to attain net zero by 2060 as part of its support to the global fight against climate change and meeting the country's energy transition plan. A document on the energy transition plan said Nigeria will require the sum to get to net zero by 2060, including $410 billion above projected usually spending, which translates to above $10 billion annually over the coming decade. According to the document, there will be incremental investment from 2021 through 2060 to attain the plan. A breakdown of the required spending by sector shows that $135 billion will be spent in the infrastructure sector, while $150 billion is to be spent on the power sector. Also, $12 billion will be expended on the oil and gas sector, $21 billion on industry, $79 billion on the cooking sector, and $2 billion on the transport sector. Muhammad Abba Abdullah, Freedom Radio.
For tomorrow's weather forecast in some cities in Nigeria and parts of Niger Republic, here's the report.
Kano tomorrow morning is expected to have partly cloudy sky and light wind at an average temperature of 16 degrees Celsius and later change to 23 degrees Celsius with sunny intervals and gentle breeze. Katsina will experience a clear sky and light wind at an average temperature of 18 degrees Celsius and later change to 24 degrees Celsius with sunny intervals and a gentle breeze. Kaduna will have a clear sky and light wind at 18 degrees Celsius and later change to 24 degrees Celsius with sunny intervals and a gentle breeze. Abuja is expected to have partly cloudy sky and light wind at 21 degrees Celsius and later give way to 27 degrees Celsius with sunny intervals and light winds. Lagos will have a clear sky and light wind at 25 degrees Celsius and later increase to 27 degrees Celsius with sunny intervals and light winds. Moving to Niger Republic, Maradi is expected to have a clear sky and a gentle breeze at an average temperature of 19 degrees Celsius and later give way to 20 degrees Celsius with sunny intervals and a moderate breeze. While Zinda will have a clear sky and light wind at 21 degrees Celsius and later give way to 26 degrees Celsius with sunny intervals and a gentle breeze. Here in Chate Mark, Freedom Radio.
And on the foreign scene, a meeting between the Ethiopian army chief and the commander of the rebel Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF, has begun in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi. The discussion will focus on the disarmament of the rebel forces following the peace deal signed in Pretoria, South Africa last week. Zarzana reports.
The discussions kicked off today, led by the African Union's envoy to the Horn of Africa, former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo, and former Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta. The meeting, which has been scheduled for 3 days, will discuss modalities of disarming rebel forces and provide a roadmap for humanitarian access and restoration of services in the Tigray region. According to the peace agreement, disarmament should be completed 2 weeks after the meeting of the senior commanders. The 2-year conflict has claimed many lives and displaced millions. Meanwhile, Philippine police authorities have filed murder charges against the country's prisons chief and others for ordering the killing of a prominent radio journalist that sparked international condemnation. The charges were filed today against Bureau of Corrections Chief Gerald Batang, who has been suspended from his post, prison security official Ricardo Zulueta, and other key suspects in the October 3rd fatal shooting of Percival Mobasa. The 63-year-old was killed by 2 assailants on a motorcycle at the gate of a residential compound in the Las Pinas area of suburban Manila. Mobasa had fiercely criticized Patang and other officials for alleged corruption and other anomalies. Mobasa, who used the broadcast name Percival Lapid, is among the latest media workers killed in Southeast Asian country, regarded as among the most dangerous for journalists in the world. Zarzana, Freedom Radio.
And with this, we've come to the end of today's Global News. But before we go, highlights of the major stories. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbadagbiamila, has urged members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, to remain calm over their claim of past salary payment by the federal government. The Chief Justice of the Federation, Justice Olukayode Ariola, has sworn in members of the Election Petition Tribunal for the 2023 general elections. The federal government says train services on the Abuja-Kaduna rail line will resume this November. And on the foreign scene, a meeting between the Ethiopian army chief and the commander of the rebel Tigray People's Liberation Front has begun in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi. And with this, we've come to the end of today's Global News. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. Have a wonderful evening.